On March 8, 2014, 239 people boarded a routine flight from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. For the passengers and crew, it was a standard 6-hour journey across Southeast Asia. Flight MH370 took off at 12:41 a.m. For the first hour, the Boeing 777 followed every standard operating procedure, climbing to its assigned altitude and maintaining a steady course. Approaching the boundary of Malaysian airspace, the cockpit delivered a final, calm sign-off to air traffic control. "Good night, Malaysian 370. Moments after that sign-off, civilian radar contact was lost. Without warning or a distress call, the aircraft's transponder stopped transmitting its position. When the flight failed to arrive in Beijing, the initial confusion on the ground turned into a complete vacuum of information. Families waiting in the terminal were left without any explanation for why the plane had disappeared. Commercial airliners are designed to be constantly monitored. For a modern jet to go silent and vanish without a trace created a technological anomaly that challenged the basic assumptions of aviation safety. Military radar data proved the plane did not crash immediately. Instead, it turned back, flying across the Malay Peninsula. Analysis of satellite pings showed the aircraft continued flying for several hours, suggesting a new path south into the remote Indian Ocean. In response, Australia, Malaysia, and China formed an international coalition to launch one of the largest search operations in history. Specialized ships and underwater vehicles were deployed to scan the seafloor, using advanced sonar to search thousands of square miles of rugged underwater terrain. At the surface, military aircraft scoured millions of square miles of open water, looking for any debris or evidence of a crash site. It took years for the first physical evidence to emerge. Fragments of the plane, including a wing flaperon, eventually washed up on islands and coastlines thousands of miles from the search zone. Even with these fragments, the main fuselage and the flight data recorders remained missing. The core of the aircraft was lost in a search area so vast that physical evidence alone could not solve the mystery. Because the black boxes were never found, investigators had to rely on theoretical models to understand what might have happened during the flight's final hours. One theory examines a catastrophic mechanical failure that disabled communication systems while the plane remained airborne. Another possibility is a fire or sudden loss of cabin pressure, incapacitating everyone on board and leaving the aircraft on autopilot until fuel ran out. Investigators also looked into human factors, reviewing the backgrounds of the pilots and passengers to see if the course change was the result of an intentional act. While numerous theories circulated online, including claims of hijackings or extraterrestrial events, investigators dismissed these as they were not supported by any verified evidence. The official final report acknowledged that without the main wreckage, investigators could not reach a definitive conclusion. The investigation ended without identifying a single cause. This leaves a permanent gap in the records of aviation history. Without the evidence from the seafloor, every explanation for the disappearance remains a form of educated guesswork. The primary mystery remains geographical. The search zone is a landscape of underwater canyons and silt, where the frame of a Boeing 777 is easily lost in the sheer scale of the terrain. Just as significant are the behavioral questions. We still do not know why the aircraft changed course or what occurred during those final silent hours over the ocean. This disappearance forced a major shift in how the global aviation industry tracks commercial flights. It proved that the existing infrastructure was no longer sufficient for modern safety. Aviation authorities have now implemented global tracking systems that provide continuous updates on a plane's location, ensuring that a commercial aircraft can never go dark for hours again. While the industry moved forward, the families of the missing continued to demand the truth. For them, the lack of answers is a constant source of frustration and unresolved grief. Behind the technical reports are 239 individuals who were lost to the void. Their families are left with an ongoing vigil, waiting for a resolution that may never come. MH370 drove the industry toward new standards, but those protocols exist because 239 people never arrived. Their final hours remain the most significant unsolved mystery in the history of modern flight.